Let's take a look at how this tool, Diigo, can help students as they're reading online. Diigo is a social bookmarking tool and a tool that allows you to annotate, similar to what you can imagine here on a piece of text, annotating, marking, highlighting, but also being able to share collaboratively with that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in so I can show you what it ends up looking like. As I'm doing that, let me share why it's so important for me. When I am interested in saving anything that's online that I'm reading, I can share that. I can save that to go back by going into my bookmarks on my computer. But what I'd like to do is have a web-based way to share some of these bookmarks so that when I'm somewhere else and not tied to my own computer, I can log in and take a look at all of the things that I've kept in this library for myself. Again, to be able to access because they're my favorites. The way they're organized is by tags, and so I can go ahead and look at the tags, which is my organizational system. The tags here can show you the things that I've kind of organized as I've saved. So I've been spending some time working with some Chromebooks lately, so you can see when I click on Chromebooks, or let's even look at blended learning. The bigger ones mean that there are going to be more numbers of things that I've saved to that tag. I come here now and I can see that I might be interested in coming back to this article to read. I've tagged it with blended learning, professional development, learning management system, and others. So I can search for them that way. But then if I just want to go ahead and see the article that I saved for reading later, I can click on that and that will launch. And there it is. So coming back to my library like this, again, I can organize those, find them anywhere, and then I can also share them with others. So that's a pretty important thing to do when I want to organize my life. And if I'm a student in a class, that's important too, especially if they've got some research going. Oftentimes we ask them to do that socially too. So if you notice, I'm here in my library at the top, but I also have my groups here. So if I go ahead and click on that, you're going to be able to see that I've got a series of groups that I belong to. And when I decide to share something that I want others to be able to see, I can just go ahead and click on that and share not only to my own private library, but also to other shared groups. So let me show you how that works. If I'm going through and I find this great site, Newsella, and I've found an article here that I want to be able to save and come back to at some point or share with others. I have here, because I'm in my Chrome browser, a Diigo extension. So I'm going to click on that, and it gives me these options. There are a number of things that I can do. I can take a just screenshot so I can get a visual of that. I can add it to a section where I can come back and read it later because I haven't had time to do that. But really, the straightforward way to get it into my library is to just go ahead and click Save. Once I do that, it gives me a drop-down box. It automatically gives the link. It's found that for you. And then it allows you to annotate here. So I could just remind myself, I give a little description of finding articles about nonfiction texts based on Lexile scores. Just, again, a little reminder for myself, an annotation, if you will. And then I can go ahead and put in tags here. And it looks back at some of the recent tags that I've used to organize. So instead of putting it in a folder like I would in a normal bookmarking place, I'm going to go ahead and tag that. So this is for reading. I might add a literacy tag to that. And then I can go ahead and type anything in that'll help me remember. So I can grab that Lexile too, because this is my own organizational system. Remember though, because I could just go ahead and save to my library, I said that if I belong to a group, I can go ahead and share that to the group. It's going to find all of the groups which I belong and the one that I would like to go ahead and share it to. So I'm going to hit this one and hit save, and now it's gone, oops, hit save, and now it's gone to both my library. Let's see if that's updated that quickly. Go back here, and to the shared group library. Looks like that's reloading, and then it's going to pop up. So simple way, again, for me to bookmark, and then the social part of it is to be able to share it directly with those others. Let's see if I can refresh that again to go. Now, if I've got a group of students who are working on some research together, the idea that I would ask them to do some of this annotation, I think can be really powerful because you could imagine them creating a shared annotated bibliography of sorts. Right? If I go back, here's another little feature that I didn't share with you, but if I go on back and I'm working with, again, that example of those students doing that research collaboration together. and they've got an article that they want to share to the group resources. I could ask them to do that annotation. When I did, I just typed in a little bit about the Lexhouse course for me. Here's another way I can do that. If I found something that's interesting for my research, so I give that drop down. And see this little annotation thing? Before I go ahead and save it, I can annotate using the tools that they've got here. It's the part that I might be interested in to go into that little annotation box there. So that's the relevant part of that information for me. Okay. Now, back with that Diigo piece. It's edited here, but because I've annotated it, it should save directly to my library. So let's go ahead and see if that's done. And again, I'll refresh this. And notice what just happened. It automatically saved to my library because I annotated. I didn't even have to go through the steps of hitting save. It's the article that I was just reading there, or on any website, any kind of non-fiction text or fiction text that I find on the web. And whatever I highlighted comes right into that annotation spot. So again, if you imagine groups of kids sharing the same resource group here around research and asking them to annotate things that are important to share for the research topic and collaborating together, that's a pretty powerful tool. So this is how you go ahead and get it. If you're on Chrome and you go into the Chrome web store, just Google Chrome Store, I just typed in Diigo and I can get an extension this way, the Diigo web. If you are in Firefox, because I use it in Firefox too, you'll notice when I'm in this browser here, my Diigo tool is over here. When it was in the Chrome, it stacked up over here. But here, for me, in the Firefox extension, and I drop down and sign in here, and then I can do the same thing. I've got a Diigo toolbar. So if you just Google Diigo extensions or Firefox Diigo extensions, or the Firefox, you can go ahead and add it to Firefox like that. Or if you saw it before that, here in Tools for Diigo, it's going to give you some instructions on how to do that. You can either just do the quick little Diigo bookmark, or this Diigo extension is the way to go. The last piece I'd like to share is how on my iPad, or if you've got students who are in a one-to-one iPad situation, can use Diigo to be able to do that while they're searching and researching. So I've downloaded the Diigo app here, and I'm going to just go ahead and launch the Diigo app. And what it's doing is it's opening up a browser for me that allows me to do the same thing that I've been doing on my regular Mac or PC. So in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see I can search Google, but over to the right, I've got that little Diigo drop down. So I've already gone ahead and looked at opening up Newsela, and if this is the article that I'm interested in saving. In the upper right-hand corner, again, you see that I've got that D up by my URL, and I can save that right to my Diigo library. I can do the read later piece, and I can also do the screenshots. This is the last thing I want to show you, because just saving it directly to the Diigo library certainly will go into the library and sync to the library that I have accessible through any web browser. My Diigo library then is accessible to me anywhere I have access to the internet, whether it's on a tablet or a desktop or laptop computer. The screenshot piece I'll just show. I'll go ahead and click on that screenshot, and then I can crop the section that I'd like. I just tapped the crop part of that, and I'm going to drag, because I didn't want the whole thing, I just wanted a certain part that's going to remind me of that. I'm dragging, and then when I let go, I've got that cropped area. I'm going to crop that, and then say done. But notice I also have these annotation tools that are kind of cool. But I'm just going to go ahead and hit done. I have three options then. I can save it to my albums in here, but I want to upload it to my Diigo library. So when I do that, it goes ahead and it saves into my Diigo library, just like I've done with those others when I was on the computer. There we go. Again, it's giving me that direct link. It's saved here. And I've got an image now to go along with that, which is really helpful to remind me, as well as those annotations that would remind me. I have an option to edit here, because at this point I might want to go ahead and add tags to that so it can organize that way, and then share that to my group. Really, really powerful tool for your own organization and your own ability to find things that are that you'd like to come back to on the web for resources. And again, that sharing to that group, I think, can be really powerful for students as well.